and devaluing. This is very typical.
Mm.
Alternatively, late in life, people who are narcissistic have a better shot at therapy if none of the above happens, because they begin to feel that the next job promotion, the next woman, the next man, the next relationship is not going to be any different. They start to realize, I am my own problem.
Oh, I see. They
You
make
see what
the
I'm saying?
same. They make the same mistake enough that they recognize it. If it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck and quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. So, yes, when you say the problem is me, that's huge.
That's huge. And that doesn't happen because all along when a relationship fails, if you're a narcissist, you tell yourself it's the other person's fault.
Right.
By the way, there's something I'd like to clear up. I see this mistake very frequently by people projecting onto their narcissistic mate who idealized them in the beginning, then started to devalue them, and then discarded them. And most people think it was a con from the beginning, and it was not in many cases. This is really important.
You're saying the narcissist does this?
Yes, there's a pattern. What happens is the narcissist is fixed on perfection, not the borderline. The borderline is quite happy with imperfection, just love me. But the narcissist is fixed on perfection. So from a distance, and the chase makes them feel special. So say you're a narcissistic man, and you see this beautiful woman, and she is for you a status enhancer because of her beauty or her something else around her. And you think, oh, I could be so happy if only I had her, if she was mine, and other men would envy me. So you really are chasing her. And then you're chasing her more than you are really observing who she is as a person.
Right.
Then let's say you get her, in quotes, and she believes you that you really love her, you've courted her, she's ready to settle down with you. Well, now you're face to face with what you said you wanted, and you begin to see that the person has normal human flaws. You're having to deal with everyday things. That's the source of the devaluation and control. It's not that the person set out in a Machiavellian way to ruin your life. They just set out with an unrealistic vision of what they were going to get. And then they realize they're not getting that vision. For a more normal person without this disorder, the growing intimacy between the couple would substitute for the perfection. The person would realize, I'm not getting everything I want from this relationship, but it's really a good relationship, and I feel close to this person. Does this make sense?
It makes very good sense, Dr. Elinor Greenberg, author of Borderline, Narcissistic, and Schizoid Adaptations, The Pursuit of Love, Admiration, and Safety. Yeah, and Dr. Greenberg, wouldn't you say that it's possible that marriage itself or intimacy itself is disillusioning? That we all move from the honeymoon courtship stage into what Harville Hendricks calls the power struggle stage until we get to that us place, being true friends and lovers?
Yes, I kind of think of it as there's this thing where we think we're going to get everything we've ever wanted if we're romantics. You know, all the movies and the books lead us to believe that we have a soulmate or someone, and lots of times we don't know it, but we're also projecting all our unmet childhood needs onto them as well. And we're expecting them to read our mind or do things and so forth. And we all, no matter who we are, find out at some point we're not going to get everything. And then we try and change the other person usually. There's usually a push-pull of how much more can I get? Won't they give me this as well? This sounds reasonable. And you're right. Most of us I call it a gym. I call it the marital gym.
Oh, I love it.
Because I tell people you're going to find out what you need to improve in yourself by what you're looking for your mate to do for you that they won't or can't do for you. And that's an interesting time. And you go to the gym to strengthen your muscles, and you're going to, if you use what they're unwilling to do for you appropriately, you will get stronger as a human being. Or you can just spend your life fighting with them and get a divorce.
Yeah, so you're saying to kind of fulfill your own needs and not look to someone else to fill your needs?
Well, I'm saying they will fulfill some of your needs,
right.
But no mate is going to be everything for us.
Right.
So, for example, I saw a lovely woman who wanted her mate to be not only her shelter from the world, which he was, but also to put her in a good mood and provide emotional sustenance. Well, he wasn't good at that. He had absolutely zero skill at putting anybody in a good mood if they were in a bad mood. He was a very good provider. He was reliable that way. And so she was very, very disappointed in the beginning, but she didn't want to leave him.
Mm-hmm.
So we started looking at the source of her disappointment was she wasn't going to he wasn't going to manage her emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like she was getting nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But she hadn't really chosen him because he was good at managing emotions. She had chosen him actually because he would be an excellent provider, and she felt he was very stable, would add all of these good things to her life.
So that's the need. That's the need for safety. And would that be more the schizoid?
No, she was looking for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of safety she wanted wasn't internal safety. The safety, a schizoid person actually feels like their self-boundaries are very much weaker than other people. So if they're with someone who's dominating, not only is it offensive to them, but they feel that after a while, the person gets inside them and changes their own sense of what's right and wrong or good and bad. It's really a sense of endangerment, that kind of safety. Whereas the type of safety this woman didn't have a weak sense of self. Mm-hmm. She just wanted shelter from the storm of life. Mm-hmm. You pay the bills, you do all of that, and I'll be the loving wife. Now, that would have been fine. That was a reasonable deal for this particular man. Mm-hmm. But she also had some emotional needs that she wanted him to serve that he just wasn't good at.
Yes.
So we worked on her. If you want to stay, she worked out 3 times a week at a regular gym. I say this is something you can work on. We can work on you having more resources to change your own mood and not rely on another person to do it for you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And it will vary with the couple what you end up working on. But if you look at it this way, it's strengthening. And then the differences don't have to get between you.
Mm-hmm. So isn't there some kind of continuum of a modicum of needs met? And, where is that continuum? I recognize that no one person can fulfill all my needs. And as Richard Schwartz, who developed internal family systems, would say, be your own primary caretaker, and your mate can only need be your secondary primary caretaker. And so how many needs is it? You meet none of my needs, and I have to meet all of my needs, but that's way too much. I didn't get married for that, versus expecting someone to meet all of their needs. Do you follow the question on the continuum of needs satisfaction?
Well, see, here's the thing. If we're going to be talking in terms of personality disorders, or what I'm calling adaptations, if I stay on that topic, the borderline person has a very, very specific needs, and those are the ones they want to be met. They're not asking you to buy them the biggest ring in the world. They're not asking you to do X, Y, and amazing things. They're afraid of abandonment, and they want you to love them 100% in an unqualified, unconditional way and prove it to them over and over again. That's what they're looking for from the mate. So it's very much their need. The narcissistic person, if they're an exhibitionist, what they're looking for from their mate is unqualified admiration and doing things their way. They want to be in control if they're an exhibitionist narcissist, because they believe there's only one right way to do things, and if you have your own center of initiative and you want to do it a different way, you're criticizing me, and that is saying I'm imperfect. So we're doing 3 continuums here. You see, the borderline continuum is a continuum of how much love do I need to stay in this relationship. The narcissistic continuum is how much of admiration and agreement and continual reinforcement that I'm special and perfect do I need to stay in this relationship. A different continuum entirely. They're not on the love continuum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the schizoid person is saying, how much intrusion can I tolerate?
Mm.
How safe do I feel from intrusion? They don't even know you can negotiate differences. For them, they feel it's a take it or leave it deal. So they have the worst of it because it's always on the tip, do I have to leave in order to be safe?
Mm.
So it's a whole other level. So people who are listeners who have their own issues, but they may not fit into these 3 boxes, let's say, can think about an exercise that I do is I have people sit looking at another person, and you can use, as the audience can use anyone in their life for this. They can imagine them. And ask yourself, and you would never have to say this out loud so nobody would know, so it could be your own secret wishes.
Mm-hmm.
If I could have this other person regard me, I'll do it with you, Duffy. Dr. Duffy, if I could have you regard me in the way that would be most satisfying to me, what would that look like? How would you behave to me? What would you say to me? What would you feel about me? That's the continuum.
Wow. Yes, and we're going to start right in with that. That is a brilliant question. And we have actually finished our first show, and I am so glad that you were willing to do a two-part series, Dr. Elinor Greenberg. Everyone, if you want to hear my answer to this, I'm thinking Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
Tune in next week to part 2 of Dr. Elinor Greenberg, Borderline Narcissistic and Schizoid Adaptations, the Pursuit of Love, Admiration, and Safety. And this is Dr. Duffy Spencer saying goodbye for now and wishing you great relationships.